Hi boys and girls, mommies and daddies, grandmommies and grandpuppies. I know this looks a little bit different today, and boy, it is different, but I had a very important errand to run, and so we're going to do Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly. It's a very busy day from my car. Well, you remember, today was school, the last day of school for 2 weeks, and the Glee Club concert tonight. Oh my goodness gracious. Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly, they knew their part, and the Glee Club, they all knew their parts, but it was nervous because it was their first time. And you know, sometimes first graders can get awful wiggly on the stage. Piggly always said, "Ha ha ha, Wiggly, you're just wiggling all over the place." So they got through school, oh boy, and they had to wear blue pants and white shirts and blue ties. Oh my goodness gracious. Mommy Piggy said it was a good thing that she knew how to tie a tie, because otherwise they'd have to run down to Farmer Brown's house just to get their ties tied. So they got to the band shell. Oh, it was so nice. It was so lit up, so pretty. And of course, the city had put in Christmas decorations. So they had Christmas lights up on top of the ceiling. They had 2 Christmas trees in the ground that was already decorated. Oh, it looked so nice. Oh my goodness gracious sakes, it looked so nice. And in this park, boys and girls, mommies and daddies, and grandmommies and grandpuppies, there is a beautiful, how about that? There is a beautiful fountain. And in this fountain, besides the water coming up and dropping back down, there is different colored lights. There's red and green and yellow, and I think there's a purple. Oh, it's beautiful. And the lights are on every night. Well, they weren't too awful far from that fountain, the band shell, and they could see the lights in a distance, and it made such a pretty sight, you know, to see those pretty lights. Well, they sang their songs. Oh, they were sounding so good. There was a big turnout. Oh my goodness gracious. Miss Amanda made a lot of money that night. She had enough money to pay for the renting of the band shell, but you know, of course she already paid that, so she had enough money to pay herself back, and enough money to start the next concert, which was going to be in the spring. They were going to have a winter concert, a spring concert, a summer concert, if enough kids were available, and a fall concert. Oh my goodness gracious. And of course, all the songs were to do with the time of the year that they were singing. Well, now the big song with Piggly, Wiggly, and Squiggly. Oh goodness gracious. It was beautiful. Just beautiful. Amazing Grace. That's an old song. It's played so many different ways, but she went traditional, and that really was a good idea. Well, Mr. Farmer Brown says, "Okay guys, boys and girls and mommies and daddies, now I've hired a bus that's going to take us to the airport tomorrow morning, and the bus driver says it'll take about 45 minutes to get to the airport. So that means that you have to be at my house between, well, let's say 6 o'clock, because the plane leaves at 7. That doesn't give us much time. It's only a 15-minute leeway, so we really probably need to leave maybe at 15 minutes till 6. What do you people think?" Well, of course, and so he says, "Okay, come on." He said, "Let's make a time." And so all the ladies, because you know how ladies are, all the ladies spoke up at one time. We need to be at your house at 5:45. And he said, Farmer Brown says, well, thank you, ladies. He says, I'd rather leave at 5:45. So you be at my house between 6:30 and 5:45. Now, any of the guys are not going, then you know you can take your car back home. But men, if you're going with us on the trip, well, I'll show you where to park. We're going to park in a nice spot. The fence is going to be locked while we're gone, and your car will be just fine. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. Alvin Alligator, because he was going to leave his car, and he was kind of worried about it. It was a new car, and he kind of worried about it, you know, leaving it at the airport, you know, and that's what Farmer Brown didn't want them to do. And he didn't want them to be in separate cars because somebody would be late. So that's why he rented the bus. Well, Mrs. Piggy thought that was so good, such a great idea. So they went home and they finished packing and went to bed. Well, now you know that they had to get up at 5 o'clock. But she told the boys, she says, now boys, you can sleep on the airplane. And so the boys, they had never been on an airplane before. And so Piggly says, well, what is it like, Mom? Well, what are we going to do? And she says, I've never been on an airplane either. She says, this is going to be the first for most all of us. She says, but I know that you can sleep on the airplane. And I also know that since, hi Cindy, since they're you know, there's going to be food, so we can eat that. And there'll probably be movies that you can watch, just like a regular airplane. Thank you. And so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Well, what she didn't tell the boys was that she looked up, excuse me, she looked up on the map, she Googled it, because Google's good for everything, she says. So she Googled it, and she found that Modernia, if you look on the line on the map, the equator, or the, you know, the lines on the map, I forget what they're called, the ones that go this way, it is right in line with Boston, Massachusetts. Oh my goodness gracious. It's going to be cold. So they knew it was going to be cold, but they hadn't told the kids yet. So she made sure next morning that they had their coats with them. And it was bright and sunny here in Florida the next morning. Why are you bringing your coat, Mama? Why do we have to bring our coats? She says, well, boys, I got a surprise for you. I looked on the map, and Moderna, that's a horrible name. Moderna is right directly across where Boston, Massachusetts is. Boston, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is up on the top, isn't it, of our map? And she said, yes, it's up on the top of our map, and we're down on the bottom of our map. Oh, Mama, it's going to be cold. It's going to be so exciting. Will there be snow? Will there be snow, huh? Will there be snow? She says, I think there's going to be snow. She says, do you know what? In Pennsylvania yesterday, where my grandmommy's friend lives, she got 32 inches of snow. Oh, my heavens above. Well, they were really excited now. So they all went to Mr. Farmer Brown's house, and there sat this beautiful bus. It was more like a camper, but you could fit that many people in, because remember how many's going. Remember, the Queen asked for everybody to come that wanted to. Now, you know, for people that haven't been watching the program for a while, or, you know, if they're brand new, I need to explain to you that one little girl came this past summer, and she was lost, and the boys found her one day when they were all walking around the woods. Patty and Pig was there, and Sally and Sadie Skunk, and Allie the Alligator, and the Little Bad Wolf. They were all there, And they ask her name, and she says, "My name is Hannah. Oh, I don't know where I'm at." And so they took her back to Mr. Farmer Brown's house, and they talked to her. It seemed that her driver had just dropped her off and went off, and he's disappeared. It took them about 2 weeks to find him. He ended up, now are you sitting down? He ended up at Disney World what was he doing? He had a job. I don't know, I'd have to look it up. He had a job. He kind of wanted to stay there. And so Mr. Farmer Brown had to be in charge of getting her on the airplane and sending her back to her mama. And it found out that she was a princess, and her mother was the queen of this strange little country called Modernia. That's it, Modernia. So that's how they got acquainted with Princess Hannah, that you've heard so much about recently. And she promised them that they could come over next summer. But she asked her mama, she says, "I really miss all the boys and girls." She says, "Can we have them come over for this winter for Christmas? That would be so much fun for them." And they've never seen snow. I bet you they've never seen snow. Well, her mama would do anything she wanted. You know that. So she did. She sent her private jet and invited everybody to come, even Miss Amanda, the music teacher. Now, can't get any better than that, can you? So they boarded the bus, and off to the airport they went. And over there sat this shiny silver jet plane with a great big gold crown on the side of it. Well, that must be Princess Hannah's mama's plane. It has to be. Who else is going to be at the airport? I mean, with a plane with a crown on it? A gold plane with a crown on it? Oh my gosh. I know, it was silver. Had gold stripes on each side of the crown. Well, they all got on board, and off they went. That's the end of the story. Now, boys and girls, I think that Mrs. Piggy and Farmer Brown told me that they were only going to send me, messages on what the kids have been doing and what they have been doing. And so I think it will be just on the next 2 Mondays. We will hear from them, and I will bring you up to date on what they're doing and how much fun they're having. So next Monday, and then the following Monday. And if anything changes, I hope they come home then, because they got school to go to. I will keep you posted. And so next Monday, when you tune in, we will hear all about what the boys and girls have been doing, and did it snow or what? Okay? All right, so bye-bye. And mommies and poppies, grandmommies and grandpoppies, don't forget, hit the share button, the like button, and a comment. Now, I see one person has commented, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. If the rest of you people would comment once in a great while. Remember, if you have anything that happened to you when you were a little girl or boy, please write it down, and maybe it'll be in one of the stories one day. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.